The good news is everything is okay with Bitcoin. The bad news is everything is okay with Bitcoin because it looks like Bitcoin is kind of a wrecking machine that's hurting the alt market. Okay. So the first warning was when Mike Novogratz decided to get a tattoo of the moon.
Yeah, I saw that.
Mike.
Was that real?
That is real. Let me get a minute to pull it up.
Oh man.
Is that so the sign of the Mike got Mike got a tattoo. Here it comes. Okay. So here's Mike from Twitter with the moon tattoo. And I actually marked it on the 19th. And that was the day basically ETH fell out of bed and got pounded ever since. Now, what can we take from this? Well, we love Mike, so we're not dissing Mike at all. But something important happens because Ethereum now has a futures contract. And one of the things that hedge funds love to do is they like to be long one thing and short another against it and try to actually make money on both legs. It's the way they call capturing alpha is the fancy term. So I'm wondering if it's not a coincidence that when like one of the biggest Bitcoin guys out there gets himself a moon tattoo, Ethereum gets a futures contract, and then all of a sudden Ethereum falls out of bed, okay, and it takes alts with it. Now, speaking of alts, there was regulatory action this week that obviously disrupted the altcoin market. I used Token Metrics' correlation function, and I looked at XRP and Link because I've heard chatter about action against
Link as well.
Stellar,
yeah, I heard that as
Link. Well. Okay. So for the sake of just doing a market report, and of course this kind of, you know, it's, taking the glow out of Rudolph's, you know, red nose here, is that Dash shows up as highly correlated to XRP, and so does Zcash. So if something happens to XRP, those may get dragged down with it. And I also noticed for Chainlink, okay, you had REN correlated there, and REN has been underperforming despite a really strong fundamental story. Now, let me go to let me come out of this chart and go to something else to try to provide some hope to the XRP army. Okay. Now, a lot of people don't remember this because it's become like the hottest thing ever. But back in 2018, the SEC sued Tesla in September for making comments to try to push short sellers out of the stock. So Musk got sued. He had to change his corporate structure or the nature of his employment with Tesla. And Tesla went down for maybe 6 months and then recovered. So there is life theoretically after regulatory action. As far as the chart goes, okay, this is alt market cap, okay, which has obviously been hurt by the regulatory action. Now, this green line is the 21-day moving average, okay, and you might not be able to see it until I zoom it up this way, okay, but that green line, alt market cap, is having trouble there. Now, what are we learning from that? Well, one, big Bitcoin players may be shorting Ethereum. Two, the players, okay, that have to sell the Bitcoin to these huge corporations, right? Like when they buy a bunch of Bitcoin, they're buying it from an OTC desk. And there's large players out there that as a result of this, they're short. They've got to do something to try to get people to come into the market and dump Bitcoin. So what do? Well, they pick on altcoins. That's why 2 days ago, you look at your screen and all your altcoins, like the big ones and the small ones, are all down 20%. You know, that'll just take the ho right out of the process.
Well, great time for our customers to be in stablecoins, as we mentioned. They come in handy for times like that.
Right. Yes. And some of our models for the day trade on the day of the big crash, our models were in stable coins that morning. So, you know, that really helped. You know, I think that there are other charts that need to be looked at here. I got a bunch. So this is XRP. And the way I'll draw it is really simple. When you have these kind of events, even numbers become important. So there's 30 cents where there's a cluster of support, if you can see my mouse here. And then if it goes all the way back down to where it came from, it's 20 cents. Basically, all I can say about XRP is TA related. Now, for altcoins, and I can, you know, talk about certain other things in a minute, but this was brought to my attention by our private group. So if anyone out there is considering Token Metrics, our private group, it just provides a huge wealth of information. And I have to do more research on this coin, but as you can see from the chart, it's moving from the bottom left to the top right. It's called DeFi chain, and it's being advertised as DeFi on Bitcoin's blockchain somehow. Now, I think this is really interesting because I had not thought that DeFi 2.0 might occur on another blockchain other than Ethereum. So I'm going to bring this to people's attention because I really don't want to see any more downside price action in some of these big coins like Ethereum, right? In other words, if things are going to stabilize, right? I don't know if you can see this.
The PDF?
Give me one second.
We can chart pack.
Okay.
All right. So if you're enjoying the live stream, please make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, and most important of all, share this video with your crypto friends. It's Merry Christmas. Spread the love, spread this Christmas spirit, because Bitcoin and crypto is the best gift you can give for Christmas.
Yes. Right. Yes. So here comes Ethereum. Now, the good news is if Ethereum can stay above 623, it's got a lot of room to go up. Okay. However, I'm starting to get a little bit concerned that when something should go up and it doesn't, it raises an eyebrow. Let's just put it that way. So if you can see here, this is the Token Metrics price prediction for Ethereum. Now, earlier in the show, we talked about the possibility, and again, it's just a possibility, that somebody's picking on Ethereum using the new futures contract. Now, if that's true, okay, this graph shows Ethereum has downside risk to 471. And when I put this chart together, ETH was at 612. So there's a time and a place to go full cowboy. I know you're looking at two crypto guys in Santa suits, but you need to be careful that you don't get wrecked, so that for the next trade in next year, you're okay.
That's a good point,
right.
Bill, I have a quick question for you. I recall back in 2018,
Sorry.
I was in Miami at a crypto event on a panel with this hedge fund guy from Wall Street. And he told me once Bitcoin futures market was launched and would start, that it was time to short Bitcoin. And I said, why? He said, because for the first time now, people can actually short Bitcoin. And going back to that day, he told me that Bitcoin pretty much went through the bear market. So could the same thing happen when ETH futures launch in February? Would that mean that Ethereum is pretty much going to be a short and enter a bear market for a long time?
Well, it means people can pick on Ethereum, right? You know, I don't know if it produces the type of thing you saw with Bitcoin, but it does allow for very big people to buy tons of Bitcoin and be short Ethereum against it, particularly if DeFi 2.0 either doesn't materialize or occurs on a different blockchain. Now, there's also another reason to just be cautious about ETH, and that's that Bitcoin could just become a monster on the upside. We were on a panel discussion last week with some of our crypto YouTube brothers. A lot of these guys had, Bitcoin statistics like PayPal, Square, and Michael Saylor are taking out 2.5 times the amount of Bitcoin being mined every day or every period. So to them, Bitcoin could go to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, I didn't say anything at the time, but then I turned around and did some research. Okay. Bitcoin never went down on this last flush. And it leads me to believe that all these market makers that are selling to the big players are short. And 26K could be next. If you look at Bitcoin market cap on a weekly basis, there's a lot of green candles here, and it looks like Bitcoin is headed for 500 billion. Okay, so $500 billion Bitcoin. Can you imagine that headline and how it might impact altcoins? Bitcoin has become Godzilla. Okay. Now, dominance. This is at the top of everyone's mind. Now, these shaded regions are where alt season is supposed to be happening. So every year around this time, you're supposed to have an alt season. Well, we're obviously not doing that, which is a kind of a flag. Bitcoin dominance is at 70, which seems, almost absurdly high to me. Yeah, ridiculously high. So you might expect alts to recover, okay? But I think you have to start asking yourself, what happens if Bitcoin becomes a monster? So the market has paid you to buy alts when they were down. Okay. So here's an example of an alt idea that's still working for the moment. That would be Litecoin, right? What's the best reason to like Litecoin? Well, because no one likes Litecoin.
Yeah. First of all, Bill, great call on Litecoin. You've been bullish on that since months? And that's actually been the best performing coin this week, because I was keeping track for the Token Metrics contest. Litecoin is so far the best performing coin in the top 100 market cap in the last 7 days. So great call on that.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. And I think if it goes above 120, it can actually be the altcoin that follows big brother Bitcoin higher, right? Because if ETH is stuck for reasons that have nothing to do with ETH, if we have regulatory action hurting other top 10 coins, Litecoin becomes like the altcoin leader. Okay. And even when I'm looking at, this is Litecoin versus Bitcoin. It's a 3-day chart. And what you can see is Litecoin versus Bitcoin is knocking on the door. And this could be a major breakout for Litecoin, right? If Bitcoin breaks to 26K, Litecoin may actually start to outperform Big Boy on the upside. Now, again, a note of caution. We don't want to get crazy. It's Christmas, I know. We're dressed as Santa, we know. But if you made a bunch of money in Litecoin and it stalls at 120, bulls make money, bears make money, but pigs get slaughtered. So don't be a pig in Litecoin, especially if it fails bad at 120.
Yeah, cash out and buy yourself something nice for Christmas.
That's right. Now, synthetics. Okay, this thing traded at 12 on Coinbase, some sort of strange event going on there. If you miss synthetics and there is a JIP, right, and you do want to buy it when, say, the market gets wrecked, if Bitcoin goes up, then the thing I pencil in is the $6 range. Okay, I don't know if it can get down there because of how strong it trades, but if synthetics went to 6, I would be a buyer. Okay, now everyone is asking me about the graph.
Oh man.
Everybody's asking. Okay, So there's a head and shoulders top. This looks a lot like urine. This is just a 4-hour chart though. So if 30 cents holds, that could be a buy, because normally the 62% retracement is a good place to get in. Okay, but the way this is set up, the graph could go to 10 cents. Now, I don't want to rain on anyone's parade because I know that this has got good technology, but honestly, again, Big Brother Bitcoin is scaring me, particularly when there are formations out there like this. Okay, it's the same thing in urine. Okay, you see this pattern, you see the breakdown and the return move back. You know, hopefully urine can go above 26K and invalidate this pattern. Make no mistake, I don't want any of these charts to be correct. Now, one other angle from another market, gold. This is a gold monthly chart. Obviously, with Christmas, we're approaching the end of the month. A lot of people sold gold to buy crypto. We of course, we welcome that money over to crypto, but this looks like it actually wants to go up a lot. Gold could be the next Litecoin, believe it or not. This thing that no one likes that all of a sudden goes straight up. All right, now let's talk about DeFi. So the DeFi futures contract, I felt like was consolidating to go up. And that could still be the case. However, I'm noticing on a 2-day chart that prices keep making new highs a little bit, but the stochastic indicator at the bottom where the purple is, it keeps making lower highs. So for the rest of this year, even though I want to scream DeFi 2.0, and I would love to be wrong about this, but until somebody stops picking on ETH, you got to be careful in DeFi, because a lot of this flush that occurred the last 2 days, it looks like you should be buying the dip, but I would rather wait until it holds and have ETH take out like 623 and wait to get involved. Because if you catch the falling knife in this and Bitcoin goes through 26,000, okay, that is not a Merry Christmas for the alt community.
Oh, definitely not.
So definitely not. So if Bitcoin turns itself into like a crypto Godzilla, then altcoin traders have to preserve capital. All right. And at Token Metrics, you know, a lot of our models are in stable coins. There's kind of a time and a place to be a crypto cowboy and be long. Okay. Even when there are cautious signals. But when you see the type of action we've had lately, where it's like all the way down and kind of halfway back in the same day, that makes me a little bit careful. So Santa's gift to you is just a brief reminder that the thing that keeps you in the game is your trading capital. You can stay long stuff that's working, but be careful about catching the falling knife, particularly if ETH is not outperforming Bitcoin.
All right. Great analysis, Santa. That was amazing. So if you enjoyed analysis like that, be sure to join Token Metrics by going to tokenmetrics.com and use the coupon code 12daysOfTM. That's going to expire by the end of the year. So this is our last chance to give you a chance to join Token Metrics with a 25% off coupon code. Once again, this expires in basically 6 days. So if you want to join and get more analysis like that, like what Bill was showing on your screen was actually the weekend chart pack our customers received, right? So if you like that, be sure to join. And also tell us what you think down below.